All right, how's everyone doing? Thanks for checking out my channel. So I'm basically going to make a video on trying to help people that are interested in reading more. And I think in this day and age especially, we don't spend as much time reading like we used to. Well, we may read things online or on our phones or things in that nature, maybe social media or things like that. But as far as actually reading books, let's just say, for instance, I think we don't read as much as we used to. I think the average person now reads one book, maybe a year. So anyways, I'm going to tell you what I did to help me continuously keep reading. And one thing I realized when I was younger is I didn't like reading because a lot of the material that I was given, I just wasn't interested in reading, mainly school. That could be all different types of subjects. But I realized later in life, the more things that I loved or that I was interested in, I read about. And then I was fortunate enough to be able to travel all over North America, and I had a lot more time on my hands as far as being on an airplane or even spending time in places like this, Barnes & Nobles. I love Barnes & Nobles. I loved any bookstores. I love Borders, any bookstore I could go into. And the trick for me that I realized over probably the last, especially 10 years, I would say more than any, is I wasn't consumed with having to start a book and always complete it. The trick for me was finding different material constantly and just reading parts of the book, I guess you could say. So I'd look through the chapter, and then I would also scroll through the book, or I'd walk Barnes & Nobles, for instance, and I would spend a lot of, if I wasn't here, I was usually in a gym or an Italian restaurant, or maybe even a Starbucks. For the most part, I spend a lot of time in Barnes & Nobles because they have so many things I love regarding books, and I love reading. But again, I'm not caught up with always finishing every book I start. Actually, quite the opposite. I say I don't finish a majority of my books. Is that good or bad? I don't know. I used to be like a lot of people where I started a book and I had to finish it, regardless how good or bad it was. I did that with screenplays as well. And after a while, it just exhausted me. Because a lot of times I'd be reading the book, and then after a certain amount of time, I realized this thing's killing me. It's boring. There's certain chapters I liked. I should have just did this or that and reviewing it. And I just stuck with it, and it exhausted me. So then I realized how to master truly just walking into Barnes & Nobles, for instance, or even getting things online sometimes, depending on how much money it was, and just skimming through it. All right, so for instance, here I have a dumbbell training book that I'm going to look at because I'm going to the gym. So I'm going to basically scroll through here, check out some different things, including photos, if there's anything I've missed over the years. I'm also going to skim through this book today for about an hour, maybe less, the Bruce Lee, another one. Another book. I've read tons of books on Bruce Lee, have watched tons of videos on him as well. So I just saw this when I was actually walking out of the restroom and grabbed it. And then when I walked in, this is the new book over here. I used to love Wham! I don't know about you guys, and George Michael. So this is Andrew. I don't even know how to say his name sometimes correctly. Wrigley. You know, he was the partner with George Michael in the band Wham! So I want to definitely scroll through this, look at a lot of different things regarding what he wrote about, and also photos as well. And again, like I said, I am definitely not going to finish any of those books today. If one that I do start to read or go through that I absolutely love, I will purchase it, right? Just like I do that with magazines as well. But yeah, if you're looking to, I think, just read more, just for one, get around books more and just start walking through. It could be a library, Barnes & Nobles, or whoever has books, Books A Million, and just kind of just pick up some books. Just start reading certain things. You don't have to always start a book and complete it. And anything you read, a lot of times, you'd be shocked at how to me, my brain started to evolve and change. I started to read so much, I ended up writing 2 books, which you can actually get at Barnes & Nobles. And I could tell you this, that I was probably the last person on the face of the earth that you would ever think would write a couple books. Not saying they're great by any means, but I started to read more, which I took a lot more interest in writing more, I guess you could say. I always wrote screenplays, but I really just wanted to write some books. So anyways, that's a trick that I did. Not sure if it would work for you, but yeah, I'm going to wrap it up there. If you get a chance, you may even want to listen to my podcast, The Rich Trelunza Show. WTF Are You Talking About? I'm also on LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. But yeah, please, if you want to read, the trick, like anything else, is you got to put in front of you what you're interested in. If you don't have that, you're wasting your time. And also, don't be obsessed with completing every book you look at or buy or that someone gives you. I'm telling you, don't skim through it. You're going to see some things you like, don't like, don't get caught up in it. All right, you're not writing a book report on this. You got to realize a lot of times, and I think we're programmed that any book we started, we had to complete. I don't believe that to be a case. Just like a movie, every movie I watch, at the beginning, or maybe certain parts of it. If I don't like it, I get out. I don't commit to it. And committing to a book is many, 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 many hours. So just keep that in mind. All right, take care, and if you're traveling, safe travels.